thank you all for being here today. I don't think the President has ever seen a turnout like this before. This is the way we do it in the downrivers. And this is the way we do it in Wyandotte. And we're all delighted to see our President here in the downrivers. He does us great honor, and we are delighted to join together today in honoring him. I want to compliment my good friend Joey Palomera for an outstanding job in emceeing today. And I want to express my particular thanks to the Council for the fine job that they have done today. I also want to say to my old friend Dick Kelly, who I see down there, and also Bill Griggs and the others who've worked so hard, well done. I also want to compliment and congratulate Dr. Cole and the Wyandotte School Board for a fine job, well done. And also to the people of Wyandotte and the downrivers, well done. I have a particular pleasure today to make a few remarks about how we came here. Today we arrived on a vehicle built by the last generation of hard-working American men and women. And we are grateful indeed that we have today as our engineer and the conductor as we move into the 21st century. On the 21st Century Express, our friend Bill Clinton. This is a train which has arrived at a time when the future of our children and the future of our country is decided by education. Mr. President, as you look at these wonderful people that you see here today, and as you look at the fine young people, the children of McKinley School, who sing wonderfully well, and the young men and women of Roosevelt High School, of Henry Ford Community College, of University of Michigan Dearborn, Michigan State, the University of Michigan, and Wayne County Community College, and many others, you see people who understand that the future of this country is built on education. Now, education is not just reading and writing and arithmetic. It is about opportunity. For example, AmeriCorps, which permits American students to work in their communities while earning money to pay for college and trade school, is opportunity, just as our student loans, which help our young people and their families to pay for higher education and opportunity. It's also about school lunches, which provide nutritious, balanced meals for students who cannot afford them. Education is about values. It's about teaching our children right from wrong. But most importantly, it provides our young people the opportunity and the skills that they will need to prosper in the 21st century. Bill Clinton is the education president. And he has vetoed the efforts of Republicans to cut educational funds, educational programs, and educational spending, not once, but twice. And so this fall, when you observe at work Head Start, direct student loans, and the other programs, you will understand that he has led the fight to provide economic opportunity to anyone who is willing to work and to do so in a way which is not bottomed on birthright or economic status. Education is a great equalizer. It is something which has made possible opportunity for our people here in the downrivers. Children of steel workers, children of auto workers, children of farmers, carpenters, and bricklayers are given opportunity to fulfill their own share of the American dream. We were entertained just recently with an interesting kind of theater for a period at the Republican National Convention. Bob Dole showed us what he wants us to see, but not what he wants us to know. Bob Dole didn't tell you that he and Newt Gingrich tried to kill AmeriCorps, that they tried to kill direct student loans, that they tried to slash the student lunch program, that they tried to reduce the program for women, infants, and children, and that they generally tried to shoot holes into the safety net of this country, which provides opportunity and challenge and the opportunity to participate in this country. He doesn't tell you that they also tried to cut Medicare, to give a tax cut to the richest 1% of this society. And he doesn't tell you that they tried to take away the protections that a wife or a husband would have against spousal impoverishment because one member of that family would find themselves placed in a nursing home because of incurable and impossible health conditions. We heard Bob Dole and Susan Molinari speak about a party which doesn't exist. Bob Dole was there to talk about his transcript and his service. One thing was wrong. He missed 35 years of his resume. And if you had been hiring him after an interview in which he had forgotten to tell you about 35 years that he had done, you'd think that he had probably spent 35 years either in a mental institution or in a jailhouse. Well, I can understand why Bob Dole and the Republicans want to conceal what it is they tried to do during this Congress. I can understand why Bob Dole doesn't want to tell you about 35 years of service in the Senate. I can understand why it is they are trying to sound like Democrats while voting like Republicans. I also can understand how they want you to think that they behave like Democrats. I also can understand why they want you to think that they're going to do for you what the Democrats have tried to do in terms of affording opportunity to the American people. Well, there are a couple of other things that I want to tell you about. The President used his veto, and the Democrats in Congress supported that veto, and it resulted in a minimum wage increase. Which the President signed into law within the week. And that is going to give American citizens the right to earn a decent living as they work for the betterment of themselves and their country. He also signed a welfare reform bill after having vetoed the Republican efforts to hurt welfare recipients not once but twice. And he prevented a real attack on both Medicare and Medicaid. He also worked to do something else which is very important, and that is to see to it that when you lose your job or when you change your job, you can take your health care with you. And he and the Democrats forced a reluctant Bob Dole and an even more reluctant Newt Gingrich to bring forward a proposal which he could sign, which sees to it that no longer can insurance companies hold pre-existing conditions against you and your family when you seek health care insurance. I'm proud of having had a small part in this, and I'm now proud to introduce to you a great citizen of Michigan, a great senator, one who provides real leadership in the United States Senate, one who supports, as do I, Bill Clinton, and one who, like me, remembers where he comes from. We remember the values who remembers the downriver values, who understands what the people down here stand for: hard work, patriotism, Americanism, a dedication to family, community, and country. A great United States Senator, one who works for you day and night in Washington and in Michigan, my friend, Senator Carl Levin.
John, thank you. And thank you, downriver. What a turnout! What a turnout! Mr. President, the train which brought you to downriver today also brought you to Clinton country. There's a lot of cliches in politics, and some of them are even true. They say that people who live downriver believe in hard work, and they do. They say that voters here in downriver are down-to-earth people who know the real thing when they see it, and they are. And people say that they've elected a man to represent them who, like them, is a hard-working man, a down-to-earth man, a man who knows a real thing when he sees it, and you have, and that is our friend John Dingell. Congressman Dingell and I got on the train with President Clinton this morning in Toledo, and I've got to tell you, it's quite an experience. Here we're on an old-fashioned campaign swing that would even make Harry Truman proud, but it's on a train which is loaded with enough high-tech equipment to make the next Star Trek movie. And I think that's a pretty good symbol of what the Democratic Party's all about, combining old-fashioned common-sense values with an unyielding dedication to new ideas and to the future. Our choice this year could not be more clear. The choice is between a candidate who says that he wants to be a bridge to an America of days gone by, and a president who every day builds a bridge to a brighter tomorrow. So in a moment, we're going to give a rousing Michigan welcome to a president who has kept the hopes of working people always, always, always his watchword, a president who has not been distracted by side issues, a president who has kept focus on things that matter to average families, jobs, education, health care, environment, real things that matter to real people. Mr. President, you are not just on track to Chicago, you are on track to an historic re-election on November 5th. And now it's my privilege to introduce the superintendent of Wyandotte Schools. I think we'll try something else here. This superintendent This superintendent is a graduate of the University of Michigan. She has spent her entire teaching career here in the Wyandotte school system, and she is an example of why we Democrats don't tear down the teaching profession. We honor the teaching profession. Dr. Patricia Cole.
Mr. President, honored guests, what a thrill, what a crowd. This is wonderful. We're proud and honored today by this presidential visit. President Theodore Roosevelt came through Wyandotte on a train trip, and we've hosted presidential candidates, but this is our first presidential visit. Today is truly a significant day in all of our lives, but our children will remember this day forever, telling their children and their grandchildren. It's appropriate today that this event, highlighting education, is hosted at Bacon Library, the public library. The library has been a part of the Wyandotte School District since 1869 and until 1994, when through a partnership with the city and the school district, it became an autonomous body. But it is still very important to the community and education. A great community must have a great school system. Wyandotte has both. If you think about public education and community, those terms are synonymous. It is popular today to bash public education, but it is untrue and unfair. We know that locally, nationally, we as public educators do an excellent job for our children and our communities. We can match our best students against the best of any nation. Better still, we can match all of our children to all of the children in other nations because we educate every single child. Our society is based on an educated populace. That means educating everyone. We discover the talents and strengths of our children and help them achieve their maximum potential, regardless of their background and abilities. The school district of the City of Wyandotte's mission is to teach all students to be purposeful learners, productive, participating, and caring citizens who will establish and accomplish appropriate goals for both self and community. We're not a rich district. Our finances are very tight, but we still achieve excellence and accomplish that mission. By working hard, collaborating, and caring, we deliver the best education possible to our kids and our community. Today it is apparent we have the best. Our elementary children, eager, curious, ready to learn, our young adults, the musicians, the athletes, the artists, our scholars, preparing for their life roles. Wyandotte's very proud of them. They are the best. We all know that the door to success is education. The key to that door is reading. The #1 goal in our district is to improve and emphasize academic achievements. By targeting reading, we believe we will help children find their door to success. We know if you can read, you can do anything. As a district with limited funds, we depend on Title I allocations from the federal government. Last year, 6 of our 8 buildings qualified for Title I. We heard that Title I funds were going to be cut. I contacted Senator Levin and Congressman Dingell, and they helped. Then the President helped, maintaining Title I allocations for us. Our students learn the joy of reading and experience success through the doors reading opens. Today, Mr. President, we have a treat for you. Justin Whitney and Elizabeth Schwain, 2 of our students, have a favorite book to give you, autographed by McKinley students. They would like to read you a passage from that book, The Little Engine That Could. Justin and Elizabeth.
Elizabeth and I would like to read you the Little Engine. Here's the book if you would like to follow along. The pages. Oh, little blue engine, cry the dolls and toys. Will you pull us over the mountain? Our engine has broke down and the good boys and girls on the other side won't have any toys to play with or good food to eat unless you help us. Please, please help us, little blue engine. I'm not very big, said the little blue engine. They use me only for switching trains in the train yard. In the yard, I have never been over the mountain, but we must get over the mountain before the children awake, said all the dolls and the toys. The very little engine looked up and saw the tears in the doll's eyes, and she thought of the good little boys and girls on the other side of the mountain who would not have any toys or good food unless she helped. Then she said, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, and she hitched herself to the little train. She tugged and pulled and pulled and tugged, and slowly, 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 they started off. The toy clown jumped aboard, and all the dolls and the toy animals began to smile and cheer. Puff, puff, chug, chug went the little blue engine. I think I can, 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 I think I can. Up, 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 faster and faster and faster, the little engine climbed, until at last they reached the top of the mountain. Down in the valley lay the city. Hooray, hooray, cried the funny little clown, and all the dolls and toys, The good little boys and girls in the city will be happy because you helped us, kind little blue engine. And the little blue engine smiled and seemed to say as she puffed steadily down the mountain, I thought I could. 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 I thought I could.
Great job. That was great. Oh, you did great. Good for you. Great for the book.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Let's give them another hand. They were terrific, weren't they? Wow. First, I think we ought to say to Justin and Elizabeth, there are a lot of people 3 or 4 or 5 times their age that couldn't get up in front of a crowd like this and do what they did. Let's give them another hand. That book, of all the hundreds and hundreds of books that Hillary and I read to Chelsea when she was a little girl, is probably one of our favorites. And you see it today. This was a mountain that Justin and Elizabeth had never been on, but they thought they could, and sure enough, they did. And I'm proud of them. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very glad to be in Wyandotte today, and I didn't know I was the only president who'd ever been here as president. I like Teddy Roosevelt. He's one of my favorite Republican presidents, one of my favorite presidents ever, but he didn't know what he missed when he didn't stop when he went through here on the train. I've got a lot of folks I'd like to thank. I'd like to thank the VFW Post 1136. Their color guard met, sure enough, they did. And I'm proud of them. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very glad to be in Wyandotte today, and I didn't know I was the only president who'd ever been here as president. I like Teddy Roosevelt. He's one of my favorite Republican presidents, one of my favorite presidents ever, but he didn't know what he missed when he didn't stop when he went through here on the train. I've got a lot of folks I'd like to thank. I'd like to thank the VFW Post 1136. Their color guard met me when I got off the train. It was a wonderful thing. Thank you. I want to thank the people here at the Bacon Memorial Library. It is a beautiful, beautiful building, and they gave me a few moments there to collect my thoughts, and I thank them for the work they do in this community. I want to thank Joey Palmara, who was the program MC before I came out. Thank you, Mayor DeSena, for making me feel welcome in your hometown. Thank you to the Wyandotte City Council. I want to thank Dee Okray, the principal of the McKinley Elementary School, who met me when I came in. I thank the public school band, the high school band, and I want to thank all the teachers, the principals, the people who work in our school buildings and help to maintain them and feed our school children, all the people who are here today. I thank you for helping to educate our children. I want to thank State Senator Chris Dingell for being here. Thank you, Dr. Patricia Cole, for the fine work that you do in this school system. I want to thank all the folks that made signs. I've loved reading the signs. One lady brought my mother's book. Thank you for doing that. Hers is better than the one I just wrote, but it's a wonderful book. Thank you for all these signs. Let me say that Hillary and Chelsea would love to be here today, but they have already gone on to Chicago because Hillary has to speak there tonight, and Chelsea spent yesterday on the train with me, but she wants to be there with her mom when she speaks, and so they're not here, but I know they would love seeing this. Let me also thank all the people in the community. That beautiful old house across the street with the bunting. I don't know who put the bunting up, but all the things that anyone in this community did to make us feel so welcome, we thank you very, very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say a very, very special word of thanks to two of the best friends I have in the United States Congress, Senator Carl Levin and Congressman John Dingell. You should know that there are no people in Congress who work harder, who are more scrupulously honest, and who labor more diligently for the economic interest of the people of this district and this state and for the values that have made America strong. I don't know how many times one or the other of them has come to see me in the last 4 years to try to get me to do something to create jobs in Michigan, to advance the economy of Michigan, to make sure that our workers are being treated fairly in global trade. Day in and day out, month in, month out, they are up there working hard, and it made a profound impression on me because you don't see what I see, and I'm there and I see it, and every day and every way, it's not just speeches for them, it's hard work. They're there for you, and I appreciate them, and I know you do too. Folks, I have loved taking this train trip through America. We've been in West Virginia and Kentucky and Ohio. This morning I was in Toledo, where I watched an American automobile plant where they make Jeeps roll off their 2 millionth Jeep, and the oldest operating auto plant in America goes back to 1910. Last year, because of the partnership we've established, when I was in Japan, I went into a dealership and I sat in a Jeep in a Japanese dealership made in Toledo, Ohio by American workers. That's the kind of thing I want to see more of. On this train trip, we're saying to the American people, number one, I wanted to go on a train to Chicago so I could stop in towns like Wyandotte and look into the faces of the people I've been trying to work for the last 4 years. But I also wanted to say that this train is on the right track to Chicago and also on the right track to the 21st century for America. The people of Michigan, with all their diversity in the economy and all the diversity of our citizens, coming from all walks of life, all faiths, all races, doing all different kinds of things for a living, know as well as anyone that we are going through a period of profound change in how we work, how we live, how we relate to each other, how we relate to the rest of the world. I sought the presidency because I wanted to make sure we were prepared for the 21st century, because I wanted us to go roaring and united into the next century with the American dream alive for everyone, with every person in this country who's willing to work hard having the chance to live out their dreams and live up to their God-given potential. And we are moving in the right direction to meet that goal. I have followed a very simple strategy. I think it's the basic American bargain. Opportunity for all, responsibility from all, and then telling every single person, if you will be responsible, if you will seize your opportunity, if you believe in the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and the Bill of Rights, you don't have to tell us anything else. We don't care what your race is. We don't care what your religion is. We don't care where you started out in life. If you're willing to work hard and share our values, we'll join arm in arm with you and walk together into the future. You're part of our America. Yesterday in Ohio, I talked mostly about responsibility, and especially about our responsibility to make our streets, our schools, our neighborhoods safe for our children, to bring down the crime rate. Today, I've been talking about opportunity. In Toledo, we talked about how we work together and how management and labor work together to create hundreds of new jobs, and how America, after 20 years, is now #1 again in the production and sales of automobiles because of what we have done. Here I come to this library with all these school children because their future is our future, and because we need to talk about another kind of opportunity, educational opportunity, without which America cannot triumph in the global economy in the information age of the 21st century. We've been making some progress on opportunity in Washington. Just last week, as Mr. Dingell said, I signed a bill to raise the minimum wage for 10 million Americans, including 325,000 here in Michigan. But you know, even in Michigan, the manufacturing capital of the world, there are most people working for small businesses. So that minimum wage bill also contained a tax cut for small businesses that invest more in their business to create more jobs and income, and it contained provisions making it easier for small business people and their employees to take out pensions and to keep those pensions when they change jobs, and that's very important. And there's a third thing that that bill contained that I believe every single American, without regard to party or conviction, can agree on. That bill did some dramatic things to encourage the adoption of children who do not have permanent homes. It gave a $5,000 tax credit to families who will adopt a child, a bigger one if the child has a disability, and it removed the historic barriers to cross-racial adoption. There are hundreds of thousands of kids out there who need loving, strong parents and good homes. This bill did it. This bill was good for workers, good for business, good for families. It was a great American bill, and I'm proud of it. I also signed the Kassebaum-Kennedy health care bill to make 25 million Americans more eligible for health insurance by simply saying you can't be denied health insurance anymore if somebody in your family gets sick, and you can't lose it if you move from job to job. That is a dramatic step toward guaranteeing health access to all. And I thank you, John Dingell, for your lifelong commitment to health care for all Americans. And I thank you, Senator Levin, for your support of that bill. Now let's talk about education a minute. I have worked hard to increase the quality and the availability of education, to expand Head Start, to expand the Chapter 1 program so that it helps more poor children reach their full potential, to help school districts and local schools set high standards with grassroots reforms, to give more authority to principals and teachers and parents to basically chart their own course. I will say again, I am grateful for the people who give their lives to education, and I don't think it serves the cause of education to attack the people who are educating our children and carrying our future. We have increased college scholarships for deserving students. We have made dramatic strides in making the college student loan program more affordable and giving better repayment options so that young people can now choose to pay those loans back as a percentage of their future income, and they need never drop out of school or refuse to go just because they're worried about the burden of repaying the loans. That's a terribly important thing that has been done. Let me say that even though we know we've got a good ways to go, there's a lot to be encouraged about in our country. National math and science scores are up. SAT scores are up. The SAT scores in math are now at a 24-year high. ACT scores have gone up 3 out of the last 4 years. And as Dr. Cole said, that's an America that is more diverse, culturally, racially, religiously, and economically than ever before, and we're still moving forward into a bright new future with improving education. But we have to do more. Not every child has access to the same information and learning every other child does. By the year 2000, I want to see every classroom in this country not simply have computers and teachers well trained to teach them how to use them, but connected to the information superhighway so that every child in the poorest inner city school, the most remote rural district, the standard middle class community, and the wealthiest school districts, they all have access to the same unlimited store of information that is the key to our future. I want to see our nation become involved for the very first time in helping our schools rebuild their dilapidated facilities and build new ones, because we will have the largest number of young people starting school this fall of any class in the history of the United States of America, and they need to have good schools to attend. We want to help states work to set high standards and systems of accountability so that when people get a diploma, it will mean something. We want to open the doors of college even wider. Perhaps this is the most critical thing for those of you who are already out of school or about to be out. We need in the next 4 years to make at least 2 years of college as universal as a high school education is today. And that's exactly what I propose to do. I want a $1,500 tax credit refundable to every family who needs it to go to a community college to pay for 2 years of education after high school. I want every college student, including the parents as well as the kids that are going back to college, to be able to deduct the cost of college tuition up to $10,000 a year. That will revolutionize the cause of education in America. But before that, we must make sure that basic learning is taking place. I told you the good news. Now let me tell you some of the challenging news. Over the last decade, our country's worked hard to raise math and science scores, but reading scores have stayed flat. And it may be because a higher and higher percentage of our young people come from countries and families where English is not their first language. It may be because that a lot of our young people live in homes where the parents are having to work 2 jobs, sometimes 3 jobs, and don't have enough time to spend with them reading. But for whatever reason, we know that our reading scores have not increased as much as our math and science scores, and we know that unless we can read, we will not be able to take advantage of the future or understand the past. That's why Justin and Elizabeth were up here, the little engine that could, pointing us the way to the future. That is what we have to have, a Justin and an Elizabeth in every single home in the United States of America. I have come here to this wonderful community to ask all of you to join me, without regard to your political party or your views on other issues, in a simple, straightforward, critical, national goal. All America's children should be able to read on their own by the 3rd grade, every single one of them. We know, look at what we know. We know that students who can't read as well as they should by the 3rd grade are much less likely even to graduate from high school. We know that without reading, the history books are closed, the internet is turned off, the promise of America is much harder to reach. We know that children who can read can learn from our founding fathers, explore the limits of the universe, and build the future of their dreams. If we're going to ensure that those are the children of America's future, they need not only the best possible teaching in school, they need individualized tutoring, help with their homework, before school, after school, and over the summer, and they need more parents involved in helping them to learn to read and to keep reading. To meet this challenge, we need 1 million tutors ready and able to give our children the personal attention they need to catch up and get ahead. Today, I propose a national literacy campaign to help our children learn to read by the 3rd grade, a plan that offers 30,000 reading specialists and volunteer coordinators to communities that are willing to do their part, people who will mobilize the citizen army of volunteer tutors we need, America's Reading Corps. We'll only succeed, however, if the 30,000 are joined by legions of volunteers, seniors and teenagers, business and civic groups, libraries and religious institutions, and above all, parents. We have to build on the groundwork we have been laying by AmeriCorps, our nation's national service program. Today, I am giving AmeriCorps a new charge: make reading central to your mission. Let me tell you what they have done already. Let's just take one place. In Simpson County, Kentucky, a county in rural Kentucky, 25 of our young AmeriCorps volunteers helped 128 second-grade students make up almost 3 years of reading progress in just one school year. We can do that. We can do that. All over America, efforts like this are working. And in several places in America, organized attempts to train, galvanize, and energize parents are making a difference. We worked hard on that when I was the governor of Arkansas. I've seen the program work in Missouri. Parents should be their children's first teachers, and we should give them the support they need to be those first teachers. There are a lot of things you can do for your children, but nothing will do them much more good in the long run than reading to them every night. I can still remember as many of Chelsea's books as she can. Some of them I can almost remember by heart because kids want to hear the same ones over and over and over again. But when they grow and they learn to read on their own, and you see their imaginations fire, and you know their lives are going to be richer because of it, then every single tired night a parent spends reading a book to a child is a night well worth it. Every dollar we spend bringing in people to help these kids after school with personal tutoring is a dollar well worth it. We know our children have to spend more time reading and less time in front of the television set. We know that if every single parent would just spend a half an hour a night reading to their children, within a matter of years there would be no issue about whether our third graders could read as they should. We know that. We know, too, that the private sector can help. Let me say that one thing I'm really proud of in America is the way the business community is moving to change its standards of what's good for business. I was proud when I visited that Chrysler plant in Toledo that they gave their workers an average bonus of $8,000 a year last year because they all made money and they thought the workers were entitled to their fair share. I'm proud of that. But I want you to know something else. When we passed the telecommunications bill not very long ago to create hundreds of thousands of new jobs in the telecommunications industry, we also required new TVs to give you, the parents of this country, a V-chip so that parents will be able to control what their younger children see and not see inappropriate material. But it wouldn't work if the entertainment industry hadn't stepped up to the plate and said, we're going to start rating television shows the way we rate movies, and we're going to give that information to parents and let them make their own decisions. And now, the entertainment industry is working with us to create 3 hours more of primetime educational television programming a week in the next couple of years. People are moving in the right direction. We need more of that. So let me leave you with this thought. We've got 10 million more jobs, 1.5 million fewer people on welfare. The crime rate is coming down. Child support collections are going up. America is growing together and going forward. Wages are rising for the first time in a decade. But the most important thing we have to do is to make sure our children are ready for the 21st century. And I want you to join with me in saying one way we're going to do that is to make sure every single boy and girl in America can read on his or her own by the time they're in the third grade. Will you do it? Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you.